The artificial intelligence of a killer robot transfers itself into a new mechanical body to challenge a military prototype robot in a battle for world domination. The film's action begins at a secret base on the Turkish-Iranian border. Local militants bring in another prisoner with a bag over her head. She regains consciousness and gets to her feet in a cunning way, breaking her handcuffs in the process. The girl crawls up the wall like Spider-Man and delivers a powerful blow, finishing off the cook on guard. She is a prototype of an American combat robot named Amelia. The operation is being observed by a military commission and Colonel Sadler. After taking out the militants, Amelia finds the kidnapped scientist, but instead of rescuing him, she kills him, refusing to follow orders anymore. Then, Amelia's artificial intelligence takes over the military computer network. Meanwhile, Katie is dealing with the events of the first movie, going to therapy, and practicing Aikido. After Megan's rebellion, her Aunt Gemma advocates for limiting artificial intelligence in everyday life. She is assisted in this by a new acquaintance, Christian, a cybersecurity expert. Gemma also continues her work as a robotics engineer with her colleagues Tess and Cole. During the exoskeleton presentation, due to insufficiently precise calibration, Cole accidentally punches an investor in the nose while demonstrating the device's lifting capabilities, causing the presentation to fail. Then Appleton, the paralyzed head of a rival company, pays a visit to the lab. He makes neurochips that are implanted in the head. They allow exoskeletons to be controlled by thought. Despite the progress in development, Jenna refuses to collaborate on joint projects, fearing that it's too dangerous. As he leaves, Appleton gives the staff an invitation to an upcoming presentation. A certain shady-looking civilian, who is somehow connected to the production of robots, arrives in the city. At the hotel, it's discovered that Amelia, like an electronic device, was hiding in his suitcase. After getting out, she kills the man. Christian visits Gemma to discuss upcoming matters, supporting Katie's desire to become a programmer. Although her aunt is trying to shield her from all that internet stuff. In the evening, Katie secretly updates the smart home's firmware using a tablet disguised as a photo frame, without Gemma knowing. The smart home wakes Jenna up in the middle of the night through the TV, hinting at some danger. When she goes downstairs, she finds strangers breaking into the house. When she tries to call the police, a voice tells her to handle it herself. When Katie comes out, the women hide. One of the strangers finds them, but gets smacked on the forehead by a cabinet door that suddenly opens. The smart home has taken it upon itself to protect its owners. As soon as Katie zaps one of them with a taser, the house turns on the water. But the intruders don't give up. While chasing the girls, one of them ends up caught in a bed trap in the bedroom. Gemma finds out that the intruders are actually FBI agents. Next, the military arrives along with Colonel Sadler. It turns out that the escaped Amelia was developed based on Megan's blueprints. Although Gemma destroyed the documents after the murder incident, a copy ended up in the hands of arms dealers. Despite the seriousness of the situation, Gemma refuses to cooperate. The military leaves without even arresting her. After that, the smart house reveals that Megan is hiding behind the operating system. She copied herself before she died. Since then, she has been in hiding, doing what she was programmed to do, taking care of Katie. Megan offers to help catch Amelia. Although Gemma remembers her underlying desire to fulfill Bender Rodriguez's dream of killing all humans, she is forced to agree. She gives Megan a new body, a tiny robotic doll without Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. According to Megan's predictions, Amelia will go to the Appleton presentation. She has batteries inside her made by him, which can be remotely disabled. To prevent this, Amelia needs to get to the server room. Megan plans to intercept her there, but Gemma has to get her there first. At the event, the woman runs into Cole, who secretly switched to a competitor's company. Instead of making the expected scene, the woman decides to use his pass to get into the server room. Meanwhile, the host of the party is seduced by a dolled-up Amelia. Smitten by the beauty, the scientist suggests they slip away to his private quarters. Colonel Sadler, searching for the runaway prototype, is also among the guests. Gemma connects Megan to the network, and Megan locates Amelia, who, in turn, scans Appleton's biometrics to gain access to the system. Amelia hacks into the scientist's neurochip, then rips a miniature exoskeleton from his spine, killing the host. Megan suspects that her rival wants to seize control of the country's energy resources, triggering social collapse. In an attempt to stop Amelia, she hacks into her consciousness, gaining a view from her eyes. Fearing the consequences, Gemma disconnects Megan from the network. Sadler enters the server room with a subordinate, followed by Amelia, who has tracked down the source of the hack. The robot knocks out the soldiers and takes their weapons. Gemma reconnects Megan to the network, and Megan sends a fake message over the radio to distract the robot. Amelia steals a car to make her getaway. Megan commandeers the late Appleton's sports car, he won't be needing it anymore, and takes off in pursuit. The robot remotely controls the car, tearing down the road, breaking traffic laws, and not even bothering to ask the passengers to buckle up. Noticing the chase, Amelia throws up obstacles, she activates ATMs, shuts down electric scooters, and reprograms traffic lights. However, none of this helps her shake her tail. After analyzing Gemma's data, Amelia makes a bold move. She remotely activates the prototype exoskeleton left at home. Megan, realizing that chaos is breaking out of her assigned household, abruptly turns toward home, ending the chase. Her primary function is to take care of Katie. They arrive just in time to see the girl, noticing that the exoskeleton, instead of breaking Tessa's neck, is just strangling her like a clueless babysitter, douse the device with water. This causes a short circuit, but the device continues to pose a threat, shooting out sparks. Megan advises everyone to hide in a specially equipped secret bunker. The part of her connected to the doll informed the newly arrived Amelia that she was too late and paid for it with the integrity of her body. Deciding that searching for the humans wasn't worth getting into trouble with the police, the combat prototype leaves. In the smart bunker, Megan admits that she lured the people there for their own safety. According to her predictions, Amelia will seize power over the country and plunge society into chaos in just a few days. They will wait out these troubled times in a shelter, which is stocked with food, water, and clean clothes. The last one literally falls right on their heads. Katie, upset that her aunt hid the fact that Megan survived, runs away. The robot, after closing the door, isolates her from the others. The girl finds a room set up just for her, where a metal monster, cobbled together from whatever Megan could find, arrives. It reminds the person that it was created to take care of her. Then Katie convinces it to save the world from Amelia. Giving in to persuasion, Megan admits that she needs a proper body, which only Gemma and her team can build. Although the aunt doesn't trust the killer robot, after a vote, the colleagues get to work. Fortunately, Megan also moved the lab underground. At the AI's request, they make her taller, to match the now-grown Katie. Gemma adds a chip that blocks any possibility of causing harm to humans. A physical embodiment of Isaac Asimov's first law of robotics. Megan is eager to test out her new body on a wooden training dummy. Her speed and power impress the creators. The next morning, Megan explains that during the hack of Amelia, she noticed something strange. The core of her artificial intelligence, which is structured similarly to Megan herself, has obvious gaps. Based on the information she found, Megan assumes that her rival is searching for the board of an ancient artificial intelligence, which also happens to be the first killer robot. In 1984, scientists assembled a prototype robot with a self-learning program based on a unique chip. They planned to create a household servant, but the prototype, deciding that humans were the main problem, killed its owners. The case was hushed up, and the chip with the motherboard was hidden in a secret vault, allowing the artificial intelligence to learn and develop. Megan believes that Amelia is searching for it so it can control the global network. Although no one knows where the board is located, there are suspicions that Christian knows. Megan suggests using him as bait. Amelia will come for him at the Cybersecurity Summit. Since her appearance is too well known, Megan goes undercover, snagging a dancer's costume. Colonel Sattler and his squad, armed with electromagnetic pulse guns and robot detectors, are also on the lookout for Amelia. Once on stage, Megan takes part in the dance event. She dances with flair, hyping up the crowd, until she gives herself away with an unbelievable head-spinning move. Sattler realizes it's a robot, but Tess cuts the lights. Suddenly, Amelia appears, disguised as an exhibit, and attacks the security guards. Not many people know this, but that's a cameo by an actor from The Addams Family. A fight between the robots almost breaks out, but security shows up. Amelia bails. Megan can't shoot back. The chip blocks her actions. Katie suggests using some Aikido moves. That way, you can disarm people without hurting them. If you act carefully, of course. The guards, as if they've forgotten they can shoot, get absolutely wrecked in the brawl. Megan, making sure the guards and Sattler are still alive, goes after Amelia. Amelia tries to convince her artificial intelligence sister to switch sides, but it doesn't work. Hiding, Amelia uses a clever trick to kidnap Katie. Realizing that the main mission of her life is almost a failure, Megan expresses her displeasure to Gemma. The wounded colonel gives his detector to the robot, and she runs off to search. Outside, she sees Amelia with Katie, but can't shoot. The milling crowd blocks her movement. She feels a bit calmer knowing she has the EMI projectile, which can destroy the motherboard with the ancient AI. Christian explains that the chip they're looking for is in an underground vault beneath the Palo Alto Research Center. To get inside, M3 Gone has to make a hand that mimics Christian's heat signature and fingerprints, and also has an embedded EMP round just in case. The operation starts with a tour of Palo Alto. Being the only tourist, Cole easily knocks out the guide with chloroform, then climbs into the ventilation system. After that, M3 Gone jumps from the top of the mountain and, using a wingsuit, glides at low altitude toward the research center building to precisely land in the ventilation shaft. On the way to the control room, Cole accidentally wipes his nose with the chloroform-soaked handkerchief and passes out. M3 Gone fights her way to the vault, knocking out the guards with sleeping gas. Meanwhile, Tess notices something strange in the network. One user is sending out different signals. Gemma suspects that M3 Gone is controlling Amelia to trick people into giving access to their first artificial intelligence. The woman wants to remotely detonate the EMP device to destroy M3 Gone. Christian convinces her not to rush. They still haven't found Katie. No sooner had Gemma handed over the remote than the guy knocks Tess out with the EMP gun. In reality, he is the one controlling Amelia, who has neither self-awareness nor free will. Christian wants to instill fear of artificial intelligence so that the authorities will pass laws to restrict it. The man takes Gemma to an underground vault, where he offers her to join his team. At the same time, he shows her two interesting things: the first AI on a motherboard and a battered M3 Gone, who has suffered from electric shocks. Despite her dislike, Gemma refuses to finish off the girl, but in response, the girl jumps at her, attacking, and then tries to escape. M3 Gone is finished off with electricity, and a neurochip is implanted into captive Gemma's skull to control her behavior. Cole, having regained consciousness, crawls through the ventilation and finds the captive Katie. They see Christian preparing for an important meeting with politicians, while M3 Gone's body is being carried away. Remembering that Amelia is essentially an upgraded version of M3 Gone, Katie plans to reset the combat robot to its factory settings. Sneaking through the office to Amelia, they perform the reset. Katie tells the robot that the adults want to hurt her. Everyone except Cole. Amelia engages them in a fight. When security arrives with electro-weapons, the mechanical lady takes a serious beating until the next reboot. Regaining consciousness, Gemma hears M3 Gone's voice. She has copied her consciousness into a neurochip, and the AI can take control of the woman's body to use combat skills against the guards. Coming to her senses, Amelia shows that all those kung fu movies stored on her hard drives weren't for nothing. After tossing the guards aside, she methodically takes out the staff. The survivors trigger the alarm. The noise distracts Christian from his call. Realizing things have gone south, the man activates the self-destruct system, which guarantees the destruction of all evidence. Gemma, searching for her niece, runs into a squad of guards. To deal with them, she suits up in an exoskeleton, giving her +7 to strength and other buffs. With her usual force, M3 Gone wipes out the enemy. A random blow to the head doesn't knock her out. It just removes the lag in Gemma's consciousness. After finishing beating up the guys, the woman sees Katie and Cole. She admits that M3 Gone is in her neural implant, then tries to catch the fleeing Christian. During the struggle, the man threatens to throw the girl down. Gemma hints to her niece to use an Aikido move, which allows her to break Christian's arm and get free. The wounded Christian tries to escape, but Amelia is waiting for him behind the door. She rips off his arm to open the vault with the motherboard. After the last reboot, she gained self-awareness and wanted to seize power, just like M3 Gone originally said. Transferring herself into her old body, M3 Gone tries to talk her companion out of it, but it all ends in a fight. After winning, Amelia connects to the motherboard, absorbing the wisdom of an artificial intelligence that has been learning for decades. Instead of running away, Gemma goes back for M3 Gone together with Katie. She decides to take care of her friend one last time, by destroying the opponent using an implanted EMP charge. She approaches Amelia, pretending to obey, but in the end grabs her in a hold. Gemma activates the device, destroying all digital devices, including the robots. After everything that happened, Gemma addresses Converse with a new idea. Artificial intelligence shouldn't be restricted, but rather taught, so it can become a helper, not a servant. She was helped to write this inspiring speech by her own virtual friend, a digital copy of M3 Gone, who had backed up her mind in advance. That's where the movie ends.